Everyone, my name is Jason. I'm here from Experiences in Channeling, and I just wanted to come on for a little talk. So I just put up a channeling video, and I'm separating the channeling videos from the just speaking videos, as I think it makes it easier in shorter videos, I guess. Shorter seems to be better these days. Um, but yeah, what I wanted to talk about was gurus, right? The idea of gurus, right? We've all got them, right? We've all got that person that we go to, that we listen to, that we tell all our friends about, and we talk about it, right? And that's like, this is the guru, this is the one, this is the savior, this is the person that's going to save us, this is the person that's going to help us, and with this person everything's going to be okay, right? We've all got that. We all go through those phases where we're just like, yes, this is it. And I'm just coming on just to um, tell everyone, not necessarily tell you, but I was called one. I heard that there was someone calling me, like, a YouTube guru or something like that. I'm by no means a guru. I'm only a normal person, a very flawed normal person who channels. And I channel through my flawed body, through my flawed mind. I mean, if I wasn't flawed, I wouldn't be down here, and neither would you. And that's what this is all about. So understanding that we're not perfect, we don't know everything, and even that person that you think knows everything doesn't know everything. So that's the whole point. So everything that I say, please take it with a grain of salt. Take it with your discernment. Always listen to your heart. If something doesn't work for you, don't listen to it. That's so important, especially now. And there are no saviors. You are the savior. You're the one that's going to save yourself. There are people that can help you to, whoops, there are people that can help you to get closer to where you need to go, but they're not saviors. They're not, they're just maybe opening your eyes to something. Maybe they're teaching you something, right? But ultimately, the way out of here is the only truth here, right? The only truth on this planet is love. So all of these predictions, all of these things, this is going to happen, this isn't going to happen, this is happening, this isn't happening, they're all illusions, right? It's all an illusion. The only truth here is love, right? Everything is love. And so understanding that, so it's so important with everything, especially now, everything's just so upside down and topsy-turvy. Use your discernment and understand that everything is love. This is just my advice, and just also for me as a channeler, because I was listening to other people talking about people that they follow, and they were just saying everything that this person says as like it's like scripture, it's like the gospel. And I thought, oh, I hope people are not doing that with what I'm doing. I hope people are instead just taking it in and processing it through their systems, their body mind complex, and then using their own discernment and creating their own way of looking at the world. That was my concern. I am not a guru. I am not a spiritual advisor in that sense. I am a channeler. I channel. And so whatever comes through is the guidance. But even that, you always have to take it with a grain of salt. That's all. That was what I wanted to come on today to say. And the analogy that I was thinking about was that, for example, when you're in school, right? If you're in high school, and then there's like you're the first year student, and they're like a final year, senior year, and you're like, wow, they're so cool, they know everything, they're so smart. Or like kids looking at adults, like, wow, they've got it all figured out, I can't wait until I've got it all figured out. And then when you become like a senior, you become an adult, you realize no one's got it figured out. No one even knows what they're doing. Everyone's just like winging it. They don't even know. Think about it that way. So all of the different guides as well, unless they are the thing, source, which is probably very hard for us to kind of comprehend, unless they're love, pure love, then there's always a bit of like, well, I thought they all had it figured out. But the seventh dimension might be a little bit, maybe they don't have it all figured out. Once we get there, like, wait, hold on a second, they didn't know everything, kind of thing. So that's one way of looking at it. Another is like, like when I was a kid, we used to all go to this like hip coffee shop, and we'd play like folk music there. It was so cool. And there was always like a guy that was probably in his mid-20s or like early 30s there, and he was like super hip and he dressed cool, and we thought, wow, he's like the coolest adult ever. And then when I became 20 or 30, I was like, wow, what the heck was that guy doing hanging around at that place with all those kids? That's a little, And so you kind of, there you go. So that's one thing I wanted to talk on. And then the second one is, I was just listening to a video, and someone was talking about how they got involved in New Age stuff. I got involved in all this New Age stuff. I got involved in yoga and, and Reiki and what else was it? Tarot cards and all this kind of stuff. And she was like, so what happened was I opened up all these portals in my world, right? And so all this dark energy came into my life, and I was listening to it. I was like, oh, maybe that's what happened to me. And I thought, wait, no, I never did all that stuff. It happened before any of that stuff. The reason that I got into all this stuff was I was trying to figure out what was happening to me, why I was being like abducted in my sleep every night, why I was seeing aliens, why I was, having sleep paralysis. For me, it's a process of discovery. So I don't think it's exclusive in that sense. And I also, just a personal thing for me is like, I feel like, dissing yoga and saying that yoga is new age is kind of, I don't know, for me, it's very disrespectful. I mean, this is a whole, it's a whole country's culture. You're dissing all of India, it's pretty rough, so it's just my pet peeve. I mean, I was brought up Christian, and I really enjoy the Yeshua energy and the Jesus energy and all of the wonderful teachings. But I just think it's important to understand that there are there's many different practices throughout the world, and to just assume that this is the only way might not. Well, I mean, it might be the only way for one people, but that's the whole idea. It's just like, this is new age and it's bad. It's like, well, that's what, tell that to millions of Indian people who are practicing yoga, practicing Hinduism every day. It's like, are you qualified? I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine. It just seems very close-minded, I guess. And I guess in the spiritual community, and it's important to notice that. I mean, I know, so I think a lot of times what people talk about is the new age stuff. It's like, of course, if you're going to get into the spiritual stuff without understanding that it's not all love and light, that there's both sides to everything. Even within Christianity, you have the both sides. I mean, a lot of churches are compromised, so it's, you really don't know what you're going to get, but in the end that you're going to get yin and yang. And I think I've said way too much. I didn't mean to say all this stuff. Oops. Oh man, making problems. But all I wanted to say was that I think it's really important to be open. But I'm very much, at the moment, I'm very much into, I'm doing a lot of spiritual warfare. So I grew up with nightmares and just weird things happening to me all the time. And the whole reason I got involved in studying all this stuff was trying to figure out what the heck is going on with me. And I tried, the crystals. Crystals didn't really work for me. I communicated with the spirits in the crystals, and that was cool. But as far as protection in sleep, never got anything from that. But recently what I've been doing is I've been doing this like spiritual warfare prayer, and that's actually been helping out a lot, and I'm surprised at it. And so as you go down this journey, it's really important to keep an open mind, and I have a very open mind about it. And but I'm very interested in this new prayer that I'm using, and I think it's very interesting. And the interesting thing about the prayer is it doesn't really use any like denomination connotations. It doesn't use the names, and I like that too as well, because it seems to be open, and it's more talking about divine law. That there is this thing called kingdom law. There's a law that all of these beings that maybe are not on the good side have to follow, and that once you state your law, once you state your, that you are sovereign, that's that physical statement, you saying it with your words, is very powerful. Anyway, I think I've said way too much, and I probably stepped on like a whole bunch of different landmines. Oh well, yeah. I might have to take it down. I don't want to offend people. I just really needed to express that. I guess I just felt it was important. Yeah. And the other thing is, I just posted a channeling of Yeshua channeling. Sorry, it's not Yeshua, it's Yahweh. And I'm always conflicted when Yahweh comes through. So I'm not a biblical scholar by any means, but so there are a few different, if you look in the Genesis, if you're familiar with this whole kind of argument, the Elohim is plural, right? That there wasn't just one God, there were many gods, and they were creating the world, and right, and Yahweh was one of the gods, and there was Yahweh and Jehovah and all these different, and I didn't really have a good image of the, but he's comes through every once in a while, and but the whole idea was about conflict. He was talking about basically the yin and yang world that we live in, and that to understand that we're looking for peace in this planet, right? We're looking for peace in our lives. We're trying to find it. Where is it? Where is it? It's over there. It's around the corner. It's in that house. It's in that car. And it's like it's never there. It's never there. And when we feel like it's like, oh, this house, this place is so peaceful. I'm at peace now. It's no. The house is not the peace. The place is not the peace. You are the peace. You're always the peace. Everything that you look outside of yourself is just a reflection of what's going on inside. So if you want to find the peace inside first. And that was his idea. He was saying that it's fine to kind of be all kind of peaceful and loving and all this kind of stuff, but to understand that you're not really seeing reality. You're not, you're here. You're on this third dimension. Like it or not, you're here, and you're here for a very specific reason, to learn and to understand it, and to understand that this is just a projection, to understand that the hope that you're searching for is inside of you. And I just had an image though before about addicts. I see all these images of, there's this huge epidemic, right, that's been going on in America and places like Philadelphia where people are almost like zombies, right? And I think, the whole point, what are the addicts looking for? What are they looking for? They're looking for peace, right? That's all they're doing. They're looking for peace, but they're looking for it in something that won't give them peace. And that's just like a very extreme analogy, but that's what we're all doing, right? We're all just, the peace is here, right? We just got to go inside. And I know it's easier said than done, even for me, because I find the peace in different parts throughout the day, but it's never like a complete peace day. It's like, oh, there's like a few seconds of intense peace, and then there's just all of this turmoil, and then there's peace again, and then there's turmoil. Okay, that was that. And then the last thing I wanted to say, this has gone on way too long, sorry, but yeah. You don't have to listen. You can turn it off at any time you want. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was, so I went out with some friends a few nights ago, and we went to this, the center of the city, kind of, well, not the center, it used to be the center of the city. And as it got darker and darker, I could see because we were just outside, and I could see the energy of that place get darker and darker and darker and darker. And it was just people walking by. It was a lot of young people, kind of like, the early 20s, whatever, they're out kind of going crazy. But I could see a shadow. There was just a shadow over everyone and over everything, and it got darker and darker and darker, and I could see that it was just going to get darker throughout the night. Fortunately, I wasn't going to be there that much longer, but I imagine by 3 or 4 in the morning, it's just like you don't want to be there. And this is in Japan, so I live in Japan, so like it's not a dangerous, like, I don't know, it's not the danger that you sense like, oh, someone's going to attack you. It's just the danger of, this is a very dark atmosphere. Something's here. And I just wanted to share that idea of these atmospheres. And however much I try not to, I ended up swallowing a whole bunch of it and taking it home. And so for like 2 hours after I got home, I was super depressed, because it was just like, I just ate all that darkness up. And and I think, I don't know what my point was with that, but just that idea, we don't really acknowledge that enough in our lives. Like this place here has got something here. So there's a heavy energy here. And as a light worker, our job is to bring the light however we can. And so recently I've been just bringing the light in my meditation to that space. It gave me a focal point, because I've been sending energy to that center of the city every day, because there's a darkness there, and it's ever since the crazy times, like something's been building that energy up for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I have my ideas, but anyway. So long-winded thing. I haven't talked like this in a while, so sorry. But anyway, gurus. I'm not a guru. You're not a guru. We're not gurus. We don't know all the answers, but we try to figure them out. And we got to take everything with a grain of salt, everything with our own discernment. Yeah, you guys know a lot more than you think you do. And yeah. And I don't mean to offend anyone by what I was saying about the New Age or this these ideas, but I just think it's really important to be respectful for other cultures. A lot of times people will say like, well, this is because this is not, for example, Christianity, it must be heathenism. And it's just like, you've just dissed most of Asia. Asia's out, right? And I really think that that's a very small way of looking at the world. And if that's offensive, I am sorry. I don't mean to offend, but I feel that really strongly because I live in this country, and I love the people here. And just to think that, like, to say that all of these beliefs that everyone believes in, all of these lifestyles are just, it's not right, it's wrong, right? It just, to me, it just seems a little bit much, because how do you know? Exactly, because we don't know. All we know is love is the truth, right? So if we find love and stop putting all of these different labels on it, this is this, and anyway, I'm getting off my soapbox. So thanks everyone for listening, or not, or turning off, whatever. But ciao for now.